welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be doing the long-awaited healer video, and it's not pretty, let me tell you. I picked a pretty normal run. I didn't go for any kind of like speed, anything. I didn't go for a personal best or, you know, pay the best Barbarian assaulters of all time to make me look good or anything like that. But I do think I have some interesting things to talk about, so that'll be fun as always. Got a couple of levels, more gambles, of course, coming down the line. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And comment down below. I love talking to you guys. I still answer each one, and I plan to keep doing that, especially if you guys have questions about anything. I love talking about BA or anything about the account, chunk stuff too. Theory crafting, you guys have had some good ideas. I'm always curious to see what you guys come up with. So that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright, starting off the video with 75 cooking. Kind of a nice little neat number. I like the increments of 5. As you can imagine, levels take quite a bit now that we're getting close to 80. So 5 more levels to go. That's exciting. Okay, so now we're going to get into our discussion of the healer role. So if you haven't done much healer, especially at this level, the thing with healer is that it's not as, I don't want to say complex, but it's not as like knowledge based as defender is, but oh my gosh, is it skill based, and I do not have a lot of that. So that's generally where my problems arise. It's just click faster, honestly. And I mean, there are codes you can learn and stuff, and we're going to talk about that. But yeah, there are way more efficient ways to do it than what I'm doing in this video. So keep that in mind, but it takes a lot of practice, and you'll kind of see why as the run goes on. So let's get into a couple of the mechanics of healing, and then we'll get into the full run. Similarly to the defender role discussed in the last video, the healers spawn in with natural spawns and then reserves that come after you kill each one, and they do spawn in at 6 seconds intervals, which you'll notice throughout the video. So I'm going to put that chart up again for you to follow along with. But another mechanic with healers is that their HP increases as the wave goes on. Waves go on. So I will put that up as well. And if you look at this, the ones that stand out are 7, because 3 reserves gives new healers and still me lots of problems, because you have to get 3 reserves out quickly before you can spam out the last ones. And 9 because they're just so damn beefy. They take so many food to kill. So that's why blue 9 on the collector video was so key, because it saves you from having to spam an entire healer. So I will put the information from these charts at the beginning of each wave in the top left for you to follow along with, as well as heal codes. So let's talk about heal codes. Heal codes simply are a way to get the healers to die in a good order, because remember, you want your reserves to come out quickly, and then you can spam them down at the end using red eggs plus whatever food you have on you. And so generally that's going to be poison the first one and then spam out the second one, because the first one has a long time to tick down, like the 4 tick damages. So the way you read these codes are simply like, let's use 2411 for example, which is the most common heal code starting out. 2 means put 2 food on the first healer. If there's anything in parentheses such as 18, it means you need to use the second piece of food or the last piece of food after 18 seconds have passed. So that will ensure that the healer dies on time. 4 would be 4 pieces of food on the second healer, 1 on the third healer, 1 on the fourth healer. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's what the parentheses mean. But it's not that simple, because we're going to be using overstocking as well. If you remember in the defender video, I said that it's important to call when you spawn in immediately on high wave so that the healer can stock extra of the correct food for the first call. So it's not always going to be as simple as 2411, and that'll be reflected in the codes. but I'm just kind of showing you guys how to read it. And please keep in mind, I did not perfectly execute these codes, not even remotely close. And I'll have the ideal time along with the code attempted so that you can follow along and you can see my mistakes and see where the room for improvement was. So with that said, let's get into it. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about before we start the run is extensions. In this run, I'll use the X69. That's what that means if you've seen it in other videos or ever seen someone else say it. Basically, all that means is that the cape mechanic that we discussed in the other videos, where like you can shoot the cannon unlimited while a cape is up or whatever, the call also doesn't change. So just using wave 6 for an example, our strategy is going to be to go through the first 30 seconds, poison the stuff, you'll see it. And then the second call, we're going to run back to the machine and fully stock whatever the second call is. Now, the reason that works is because the main is going to cape, and that's going to prevent the call from changing for an extra 10 seconds or so. So it enables you to actually use all of that food. So that's what extensions are, and we're going to use it to extend the second call of 6 and the third call of 9. So when you see that, there's a reason that you have time to fully stock and a reason that the call's not changing, and I'll try to bring it up then, but that's just real quick what extensions are. Okay, so we're gonna start the run out in the same order as before, AA, HCD, just like in the other videos, so that never changes. Wave 1's pretty simple, just 2 healers spawn in, no reserves, so as long as you put 2 food on each of them, you'll be just fine. The defender has the longest job these first couple of rounds, so yeah, nothing too fancy you can do on wave 1, so I didn't put an ideal time. It's just as long as it's less than 30 seconds, you should be just fine. Wave 2 is similar, pretty easy wave, just 3 healers with no reserves, so just put 2 on the first ones that spawn in, and you can just spam out the last one. So you have plenty of time to complete that. It's not a very difficult wave, but you know, if you get lazy with it, maybe you could fall behind, but it's pretty difficult to do. A couple things to keep in mind is if your team does red 2 or whatever, you want to make sure that they actually die in time, but again, that shouldn't be a problem. Wave 3, so we have 1 reserve on this one, so this is where things kind of get a little more difficult than the first 2 waves, but nothing too crazy, because again, the defender is going to be right around that 45-second mark, maybe, well, slightly less, but I don't know all the exact numbers off the top of my head, but so basically what you do is focus down the second one and leave yourself 1 piece of food if it's meat, or 2 if it's the other one, and then you can catch the spawn in there, which mine came in late, and I left this part in just to show you that it's fine on wave 3. Like, generally you want to get that reserve out with the first call still up, but you still have plenty of time to spam it out if not. So yeah, not the best for me there, but it's still fine, honestly. Yeah, so this is where overstocking calls started. So notice that I stocked an extra tofu before I ran out. So the code I'm going to go for here is 254, and then spam out the last one. And I don't hit this one as consistently as I should. It's not that difficult of a code. I don't know. Things just happen sometimes. Like if you don't get to the second healer in time, then it doesn't die in time. So like I was too slow there. That should have been spawning like as the first call ended. So that's going to be the difference between a 42-second wave 4 and a 48-second wave 4. So this one's going to be a 48. So again, not the best for me there. I should be able to consistently hit 42 seconds, but yeah, still learning. So we're going to go for 2523 here with the overstock call. And this one, I want to say I get this 54-second like 30% of the time. So what generally happens is I try to get 54 seconds and I usually get 60 seconds. And you might be thinking like it's only 6 seconds, but if you think about it, all right, I've already lost 6 seconds on wave 4. If I lose 6 seconds here or even more, I mean, that's 12 whole seconds. Like little things like that add up. So you might be thinking like, it's only 6 seconds, whatever. But you keep doing that wave after wave, you know, it adds up. So yeah. And I was pretty good in this one. So it's a 56.4. I had cannon help there, but you know, didn't quite get the 54. So wave 6, the ideal time is 60 seconds. I've never hit 60 seconds on this wave in my life, but again, I'm going to overstock call, hit the extra worms. Going for a 3:18 delay, 5:22 here, and I think if I remember correctly, I didn't poison the first healer enough. I could be wrong though. And he asked for a lure in chat. That just lets you get the first piece of food in earlier. And if you notice, as I go back to the machine, I'm destroying all the meat so that I can stock extra tofu. And there's only 15 seconds roughly left in this call timer, but he's going to extend it, and that's why you do X69. And this is perfect from our defender here. This is how you want these healers lured every time. And so now I can just spam them out, and again, see the call hasn't changed. It's already dipped back below, and I still have time to spam. And so that's a 67 second wave 6. Respectable, but not ideal. Still need work on that. Wave 7, I'm going to go for just a regular. I'm not going to do an overstock call. I'm just going to go for a 2-4-1-1, and I'm not going to put all the repoison codes in there because it takes a lot of like space, and I don't really keep track of a lot of it when I do it anyways. So we're just going to go for 2-4-1-1 here and call it good. You want to delay the repoison on the first one as long as possible. I should really put the code as like 18 or even longer. The longer you wait, the better. Like, let it tick as many 4s as possible. So like I said, wave 7 is tough because there's 3 reserves that you have to get out, and yeah, that can be difficult to try to remember how to space out your food. But notice that I'm ready and waiting there to repoison, or to poison the reserve as it spawns in. But there's still one that needs to spawn, so I'm going to go ahead and go stock up, and hopefully you get out of range in time so that it's lured onto someone else so that they can take it to the cannon for spam. And that's exactly what happened here, and that's what you want. I was a little slow to notice the stack, but yeah, you see how much work the cannon puts in, so that's why you want to be out of range to let them lure the last one. Misclick there costs a couple seconds, so not ideal, but I mean, it does happen. Like I said, it's very difficult to, you know, play a perfect round of healer and not misclick, not click through something, click a person, poison a runner. Like, it all happens. So wave 8 is probably my favorite wave because the code is so simple. It's just 1911. So, and that's an overstock one as well, if you didn't notice the stock from the machine. But I don't know, I just think it's easy because it's just poison the second one a lot. You don't have to worry about like the healer spread and them dipping or whatever, but you do have to make sure that you get good repoisons on the second call. And again, I'm ready for the repoison, or for the poison, as soon as the reserve spawns in. And that's the advantage of that code, is that you get that first reserve out very quickly. I still had a piece of food here running to the machine. There was really no reason to not use it. I think I just thought I had used it. Definitely want to use every piece of food that you can, especially because I had so much time. So I get back to the machine early. I fully stock tofu. I can ignore that one because it'll die. Someone tried to blue there. Not exactly sure what they were going for because, yeah, that's not even close to dying. But I do respect the attempt. I will never criticize someone for going for a blue under any circumstances. But that stun did make it not die. like as soon as it could have there. That costs a couple seconds. But again, I respect the attempt. 9, I don't know, not my favorite wave. Basically, it's kind of like 8, except you want to get a repoison onto the first one, and the reserve doesn't come out as fast because well, there's so many of them on 9, plus they have so much HP. So 9 is just a tough wave just in general. So yeah, you have to, ideally you want to guess the call as they spawn in like that, so that you don't waste any time. If it's wrong, it's fine. If you didn't know that healer points, you do lose points for guessing the wrong food, like using the wrong food on a healer, but you only lose if you do it more than twice, I think. So I'm not really concerned. That's just a thing on 9. You should be guessing the call change when it spawns in. And really on other waves that have spawned to the call change. But so this is where the X9 part comes in. I have time to fully stock the tofu, even though there's about 15 seconds, because we're gonna extend this call, and I know that, so that's why you use this strat basically. So just a little spam here, and a trick I need to use more is to zoom in to make it easier to spam. It definitely cuts down on the misclicks, and that's something I've added to my game a little more since starting, well, since filming this one. But this is the only healer game I had recorded, so this is the one I went with. And if I had spammed a little faster, we could have definitely saved some time on that last one that stayed alive. But again, that's just spam faster, maybe repoison a little bit better, but that just comes with experience and time. So we're gonna go for the regular here, 2411. I'm not gonna list all the repoisons and stuff because it just gets obnoxious after a while. But there are 3 reserves on this wave. However, they have much less health than they did on 9. So the 2411 comes out all right. It's pretty easy to execute. Very good code for beginners. I highly recommend using it like on every high wave when you're first learning it. Don't try to do overstock calls until you are comfortable with regular. That's the mistake I made. And as a result, I don't know how to do regular on some of the other stuff. I tried to go straight into learning overstock calls, and I just don't think it's as good. You should learn it from a regular perspective first and then transition. Again, had one piece of food there that I could have used somewhere, most likely, but it's okay. But I did camp the cave for the reserves that did spawn in, because I know that my defender is going to relure them for me like 99% of the time, using either the Oct10 method that I showed in the defender video or whatever they use. Maybe they use the double 10 method, also very good. But yeah, ideal time of 78 seconds on this wave. Never even hit sub 80. 87, I guess, it's not the best. It's not terrible though. You would have to be an absolute monster to hit the ideal times on every single one of these using like regular codes. And yeah, definitely not me. But yeah, so here's gonna be the quick 1 egg queen kill for a healer. All you do is dunk it in the poison, and yeah, you just spam the cannon. So now we've seen it from 3 perspectives. The only one that's left is attacker. But that'll come one day. We'll see. I'm not really able to attack at the minute. So yeah, there we go. 1 egg and it dies. So that's the healer run. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that healer round. Like I said, I'm definitely not the best. I'm hoping to improve. Maybe I'll make an updated one someday if I can ever get sub 12. I'm getting close, but haven't hit that 11-minute threshold yet. But one day I will. So with that being said, let's hop into some gambles. Okay, let's take a look at the bank with our 600 gambles. We're just going to do my high gamble tab. Someone suggested that I separate them out. So we're just going to look at the high gamble stuff. And I got my price checker on this time. So here we go. Palm tree seeds, some toadstool seeds, all these helmets. Great. Raw shark, those would be very handy. I'm not going to get anything new from the last episode. Just the quantity is going to go up. That doesn't belong there. Yeah, lots of limport roots, lots of good alks, honestly, and some good herbs if I ever unlock herbivore like 9 billion years from now. Those don't belong there. So yeah, there you go. Now you can see kind of what each one is worth. The whole tab's worth 52 mil roughly, and my cooking stack, I've cooked about 13.4k scrimps, and still my disgusting blue scrimp stack from the last video. So yeah, that's the bank progress for 600 gambles on the dot. Well, this is happening. I really hate some of you guys. You know, you hop on to play your favorite video game, and yeah. I just want to cook these scrimps in peace. Why? Why? Make it stop, please. If you didn't know, I've been dry for arrows for probably 3 or 4 months now. Okay, that's gonna about wrap it up for this video. Real quick before we go though, I'm just gonna say the big things I'm still chasing on the account. We're still looking for 80 cooking and 60 range, as well as 75 fire making. And of course, we didn't get the pet this episode, so we're still gonna have to do the pet. So those are the big 4 things that I'm still waiting on. A lot of you have asked, so I haven't checked anything off lately because the last few videos have been focused on getting the pet and I haven't gotten it, so I haven't been updating it because there's really nothing to like update. It's just been a lot of gambling, but hopefully that'll change soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day.